Hello, this is Steve again at the shop. I wanted to kind of make a little bit more of a detailed video on this, what's referred to as the Stage 2. A lot of people use the term Stage 2 Super H. I had briefly pointed out a few things on the introduction video, and I wanted to go into a little bit more detail without boring everybody to death. There's a lot of things on this tractor that are not 100% correct, I guess you could say. I don't do these tractors. I'm not a real stickler for 100% accuracy. Most of the time I get these machines, they're basket cases when I get them. I have brought them home. They were in such bad shape the scrapyard wouldn't have them. But I put them together a lot of times with what's practical, something that I can use, because most of these things will eventually end up being used here on the place. First one thing or another. They're not trailer queens. But I just wanted to point out a few things. I know everybody can't spend $1 million on some of these things, and some of the amounts of money that you can have in these tractors is just really ridiculous. So I use a lot of parts off of junk tractors. Aftermarket stuff is in and of itself pretty much junk, especially when it comes from some of the let's just say other countries. So anyway, let me quit babbling here, and I want to point out a few things. This tractor came from the factory with the hydraulic pump mounted off of the timing gears instead of the belly pump like the OHs had. This particular one did not have the 3-point hitch as this one now does. You can see here as I add it on, it's got a single cylinder on it. This cylinder here, I actually added a couple of valves on here that you can see. When I pull the lever up top, of course it shoots the oil down here to the cylinder, but I needed a way to make some remotes without actuating the 3-point hitch at the same time. So I just put a couple cutoff valves on here that shuts the flow off to the cylinder and only allows the flow to come to the remotes, up and down pressure for the remotes. You can keep these open. Of course, the cutoffs and the couplers themselves will stop the oil flow while you're using the 3-point hitch. When you get ready for whatever you're hooking onto it, if it's a trailer type bush hog, for instance, that has a cylinder, you can pull the lever. This cylinder will actuate. You can get whatever level you want on your drawbar there, and bring it up to the level you need to hook it up to the implement. When you get that set, kill the oil to the cylinder here, and the rest of the oil pressure throughout the rest of your use will just go to nothing but the remotes. Probably another way to do it, but I figured that works out really well for me. I've did it on a couple other tractors, a little bit different configuration, but the same end result. I've got something similar on an M, and also on my 400 up here that I've had on there for years. I never had the first problem out of any of it, but this was a little different here. But I wanted to keep everything as tight a package as I could, so there it is. This, I mentioned earlier on another video, this particular battery box seat combination here was actually off of a 400. What came on the Super H's, and I think the Stage 2 Super M's and Super MTAs, if I'm not mistaken, did not have the IH emblem. They were smooth-sided. I don't think they had these the reinforcement deals on the side here. This mechanism here is somewhat different. It escapes my memory just what the difference is. It has to do with the latch mechanism from the 400 to the Super MTAs and whatnot. There's a difference in the latches. I'll have to kind of research that myself. I've long since forgotten. Anyway, it worked out really well. You can actually buy these seat shocks aftermarket. I think I got that one off of eBay. And I've used several of them that I've gotten off eBay. They've all fit really well, and they've actually held up really well. I was surprised. Let's go around here. Coming off the hydraulics here, as I mentioned earlier, your discharge is supposed to go straight into the liftall here. But when I wanted up and down pressure on the 3-point hitch, so I came straight into the valve, an add-on valve, came out of the add-on valve, and now let that go into the liftall with my return heading back into the pump. This particular valve came off of an old M I parted out. It's an M&W valve, if memory serves me right. I had to make a couple mounting brackets here. Another mounting bracket on the bottom here. Hopefully you can see that, to keep it good and solid. And I also had to make a different pivot point for the ball on that lever. It was pretty simple to do, wasn't no big deal, but it works out great. Also, I had to manufacture, I hate to use the word rig, but I made a dual hookup deal for the started to say the belly pump. The liftall actually still does work in its original configuration, but I added a second line, that second valve there for the hydraulic valve, which operates the up and down on the hitch. And obviously here this tractor does not have Super H rims. It has H rims, which actually the Super H rims, to be more correct, are more like this. I'll probably get a bunch of flack about this tractor having two different kinds of rims on it, but this is actually what's supposed to be came on the H's. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me here, and these were found on the Supers, Super M, Super H, I believe Super MTAs. You can see the difference there. One more thing I wanted to note on this tractor, if you want to be 1000% correct there, I mentioned this earlier as well, you should have a rubber hose here, section of rubber hose here, a section of rubber hose up here. There's a metal tube that you can buy aftermarket, pretty decent quality, that goes in between the two. When I first got this tractor and was trying to get it running, I grabbed the first thing that was handy. It fit, I put it on there, and it's been on there ever since. I actually got that hose at O'Reilly's, believe it or not. All right, I'll think of something else here we can get into on this next video. I don't want to bore you to death, get these too long. So come back next time. Thanks.